morning, Kelly. Congratulations on your Leadership Award for the Virginia Retirement System. As one of the NAGDA 2016 Leadership Award winners for participant education and effective communication, tell us a little about your project.
All right. Well, good morning, Crystal. The retirement system, Virginia retirement system, implemented a hybrid retirement plan in January of 2014, and the vast majority of new hires into the system go into that particular plan. And our hybrid plan consists of two separate, distinct components: a defined benefit plan as well as a defined contribution plan. The defined contribution component requires 1% mandatory contributions from both the employer and the employee, but it also allows for members to contribute up to an additional 4% in voluntary contributions to the plan. Voluntary contributions add or also contribute up to an additional 2.5% in employer match contributions. So it's really essential that employees take advantage of that, because they're leaving a good chunk of money on the table if they don't make those voluntary contributions. So along with our third-party record keeper, ICMARC, we developed what we refer to as our voluntary contributions toolkit, which is basically a suite of resources that we developed for our employers to use with their members and their employees to disseminate information and help educate them on the voluntary contribution component of the hybrid.
Wonderful. And of the hybrid program that you implemented, what was the inspiration or motivation that got you started on this project?
Well, in our hybrid plan, and I know there are lots of different variations of hybrid plans, but in ours, the defined benefit component really forms the foundation of the employee's retirement. It's just the base. So the defined contribution component really requires that the employee take a much more active role in planning for their own retirement. So the motivation for the project really goes to the heart of VRS's commitment to our members, and that's really helping them plan for tomorrow, today. So we wanted to give them resources to help them understand the importance of making the voluntary contributions, and to do it in a manner that was easy to understand, easy to use, easy to access in a variety of different ways.
Beautiful. And what do you think was your most difficult obstacle you encountered, Kelly?
I don't know that I can pick just one. We are a large state plan. We have over 820 separate employers in our plan.
Wow.
They run the gamut from very small employees with 5 or 6 employees, or employers with 5 or 6 employees, up to employers that have thousands and thousands of employees. So various levels of sophistication in their payroll systems, various levels of communications or of sophistication within their communications, their HR office. Many of our HR folks with our employers wear many, many different hats, and the retirement plan is just a very, very small piece of their job. So that's definitely a challenge. Another challenge is that the hybrid plan is new for employers. Prior to the implementation of the hybrid plan, we had basically just a straight defined benefit plan, which didn't really require the same kind of communications efforts. It didn't require the same kind of action from the members that the hybrid plan does. So our employers, this is a whole new concept for many of them. So a lot of them don't even have their own defined contribution plans in general. So this was a new concept for many of them. Additionally, and I don't think this is an issue just for Virginia retirement system, but we don't have email addresses for the vast majority of our members, which means the only ways for us to communicate to them are either to disseminate information through those 820 employers, to do it online, or to do it by direct mail, which gets to be very, very expensive when you have a large program.
Right.
So we overcame these obstacles by doing a significant amount of outreach with our employers to help them understand the plan, which is pretty complicated, especially when you compare it to the defined benefit plan of the past, which they still administer. We do a lot of on-site meetings for members through representatives from the retirement system that go out and talk about the defined benefit component. And then our third-party administrator, ICMARC, also does a lot of outreach with employers and members on site. We did do, we've done 2 separate direct mail campaigns since hybrid was implemented. And then again, developing a toolkit for employers to really pull resources from. So I think the toolkit is really a multi-prong. It's a variety of resources. It includes prepared HTML email messages that they can just stick in the email and send directly out to their employers or to their employees. It also includes a video series. We did I think there's 6 separate short bite videos that one provides just an overview of the hybrid plan, one focuses on contributions, one focuses on ancillary benefits that they might be eligible for. Another one focuses on investments and how to access that information through the third-party record keeper's website. And all of those, I think all together, the 6 videos are probably around maybe 10, 12 minutes.
Okay.
But they're in little separate chunks so that employers can plug them in at orientations and other things like that. Additionally, the toolkit also includes prepared PowerPoint slides that employers can stick into, say, an orientation session. So things like that. So we've tried to give employers resources that they don't really have to think about, they just have to use.
Use it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Wonderful. And of the participant education and effective communication, what resources did you turn to for best practice ideas or inspiration?
Well, we started with the data. We have a lot of information about our members in our system and in our third-party record keeper system. So we really decided at the beginning we really wanted to focus on who's our average hybrid member, where do the bulk of them fall, and what we found. It varies a bit based on the type of employer. In the school districts, they tend to be female. They tend to be in their late 20s, early 30s. Across the board, however, can I go back on that one?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to start. Can you just
I'll
ask
ask
me
the question again. Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay.
So Kelly, of the participant education and effective communication, what resources did you turn to for best practice ideas or inspiration?
Well, the first thing we decided to do when we started rolling out the hybrid is we really wanted to make sure we were collecting the right kind of data. We have a great deal of data in our system at the retirement system, but so does our record keeper, ICMARC. So we wanted to make sure that we were crafting messages that were appropriate for that population. Generally speaking, they're new hires into the plan, so they do tend to be younger. Most of them are college educated, and they have lower salaries because they're starting out in their careers. So when we developed materials to target the audience, we really wanted to make sure we were using examples and illustrations that were relevant to them and would connect with them in their daily lives. So we focused on things that they do on a regular basis, buying coffee, going out to eat, and being able to kind of look into the future and see where they might want to be, talking about goals, aspirations, those types of things.
Wonderful. And what outcomes were the most rewarding for you as a plan sponsor?
Well, we just hit a landmark. We started really focusing on the voluntary contributions in this particular project in September 2015, so right at a year ago. We took a slice of that population, of everybody that was in the plan at that point in time, and we have, of that group, they are now over 20% of them are doing voluntary contributions, which is significant for us. Now our total population that's doing voluntary contributions is around, I think, around the 16% mark. But this group that was directly impacted by this project, we're over 20 as of last week, which is fantastic. We're very, very excited about that. And I credit that a lot to our employers are becoming more familiar with the plan itself. As I mentioned, for a lot of them, this is just a very tiny fraction of what they actually do on a day-to-day basis. So they're becoming more familiar with it, and they're beginning to understand that it's essential that their employees do this.
Right.
If they don't, they're leaving a large chunk of their retirement benefit on the table. So they are also taking a more active role in communicating the information. We have started highlighting in our employer newsletter and on our employer website really some of the best practices that employers have been utilizing to get people to do voluntary contributions.
Right.
And it includes things like making educational sessions mandatory for new hires coming into the plan. We've really seen some interesting, innovative things from our employers as they kind of move forward, which makes me very proud.
Right.
Makes me very happy for them, and especially happy for our members, because that is our primary goal, of course, is to get them in a place where they are comfortable when they retire. So.
Well, very effective and engaging. So.
We hope so. It's been a fun project, and it's not likely to be a project that will go away anytime soon, because 20% is fantastic,
Yes.
but we've got to keep pushing
Striving.
forward. Yes.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations again, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.